Brother Ben here. Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Can you all hear me and see me? Praise be to Allah. All right. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet all of you all with the greeting words of peace we said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. For those who don't know, Assalamu alaikum simply means peace be unto you. And when you see others say wa alaikum salam, they are returning the greetings of peace. Also, when you see us say Ramadan Mubarak, that's just wishing a blessed Ramadan. When you see those who say Ramadan Kareem, they are returning the wish of a blessed Ramadan. How many of y'all are here for your very first time? This is your first Ramadan that you're attempting. This is the first time you're reading the Quran. How many of y'all, this is your very first time? This is your first go round. Man, look at this, y'all. Shout out to Eli, Lester, Greg. Oh, man, look at Stephanie. Brother Tadarius, Himes, Malik, Lester. Man, look at this, y'all. Look at this. Tyreek, shout out to Rogers. Man, this is amazing. This is amazing. I want you guys to just be open. You're comfortable here. You don't have to feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like this is a judge-free community. If you guys would like to learn how to pray, things of that nature, it is inside of the Power Call. So www.thepowercall.net. We have a video that Brother Abdul Halim did last year. It was really good, really good message. He broke down the meaning of the prayers and things of that nature. So it was really, really good. So just so that you guys know, Ramadan started, according to what I'm seeing, at the end, like yesterday. So the Ramadan reading that we have that, Waxahachie Study Group typically puts out, reading started yesterday. So we will catch up, I think, today. So what we're going to do, instead of reading part 1 and part 2, instead of reading part 1, we're going to read part 1 and part 2 so we can just be on track, if that's okay with y'all. Okay? Just based on what I saw. When I saw the flyer, I was like, whoa, so we supposed to start the reading yesterday. Although the Ramadan didn't start yesterday morning, but I guess we were still supposed to read. So we'll catch up with that today. All right? Shout out to Bradley. Said this is their first Ramadan. Now we got our typical readers. I know Brother Cam is on deck. Look like Brother Khalil is going to be on deck. Any more readers that would like to help us read? We're going to read by sections. Sister Shalon. Okay, cool. So if we can put together a cue, Sister Randisha, if you're present. I don't know if you're present. I don't know if you saw the text that I sent as well. But if you can put together a queue of readers. All right.
Brother Ben.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm actually driving right now, so I wouldn't be able to read this morning.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to start off, and then I know Brother Khalil, you good?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, we got Brother Khalil, and if you could put together a cue for us, Sister Randisha. All right. All right, let's get started with the opening. Do anybody, I'm sorry about that. Do anybody have the PDF that I gave y'all last year? Remember I gave y'all a PDF? Man, I didn't think about this till now. Oh, and Brother Remus, put Brother Remus in there. Anybody got the PDF? If y'all have the PDF, can y'all drop it inside of the chat for us, please? Over here on Zoom, put it in the Zoom. And then if y'all can drop it inside of our community, the online community as well. So everybody can read along. Oh, you know what'd be good, Sister Randisha? Can you share it like you did last year? Who shared it last year so everybody could read along? I don't know who did that. Was that you?
Sister Alexia.
Ah, she's not here. Doesn't look like she's here yet. Okay, well, we'll try that. We'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow, guys, for y'all who don't have the Quran, we'll have it up on the screen so y'all can read along with us as well. All right, let's get started here. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the day of requital. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path upon those whom wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray. Chapter 2, The Cow. Section 1, Fundamental Principles of Islam. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I, Allah, am the best knower. This book, there is no doubt in it, is a guide to those who keep their duty, who believe in the unseen and keep up prayer and spend out of what we have given, and who believe in that which has been revealed to thee and that which has revealed before thee, and of the hereafter they are sure. These are on the right course from their Lord, and these it is that are successful. Those who disbelieve, it being alike to them whether thou warn them or warn them not, they will not believe. Allah has sealed their hearts and their hearing, and there is a covering on their eyes, and for them is a grievous chastisement. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to read one section at a time. I just want to pause right here. What we do here in the power call at the end of our reading, we want to share just a bit of what stood out for you. So as we're reading, I don't want you guys to just get in the habit of, oh, I'm just reading as a habit. I want you guys to write down what stood out to you, something that helped you or whatever the case may be, so that you can share what stood out to you at the end of the reading. We can kind of, dialogue about it, okay? So let's go to Brother Khalil, section 2.
Yes, sir. And we're just reading one section at a time, sir?
Yeah, we'll do one section at a time.
Okay, yes, sir. Section 2, lip profession. And there are some people who say, we believe in Allah in the last day, and they are not believers. They seek to deceive Allah and those who believe, and they deceive only themselves, and they perceive not. In their hearts is a disease, so Allah increased their disease, and for them is a painful chastisement because they lie. And when it is said to them, make not mischief in the land, they say, we are but peacemakers. Now surely they are the mischief makers, but they perceive not. And when it is said to them, believe as the people believe, they say, shall we believe as the fools believe? Now surely they are the fools, but they know not. And when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. And when they are alone with their devils, they say, surely we are with you. We were only mocking. Allah will pay them back their mockery, and he leaves them alone in their inordinacy, blindly wandering on. These are they who buy error for guidance, so their bargain brings no gain, nor are they guided. Their parable is as the parable of one who kindles a fire, but when it illumines all around him, Allah takes away their light and leaves them in darkness. They cannot see. Deaf, dumb, and blind, so they return not. Or like abundant rain from the cloud in which is darkness, and thunder and lightning. They put their fingers into their ears because of the thunder peal, for fear of death, and Allah encompasses the disbelievers. The lightning almost takes away their sight. Whenever it shines on them, they walk in it, and when it becomes dark to them, they stand still. And if Allah had pleased, he would have taken away their hearing and their sight. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things.
Yes, sir. Brother Marcus. All right, the wellness preacher. right, Brother Daniel. Are y'all not able to come off mute? Hold on, my bad. I'm sorry. That's my bad. Y'all was not able to. Go ahead, Brother Marcus. You should be
Can you
able.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I actually just lost where we were. Can you tell me where we were again, please?
We're on page 14, section 3, divine unity.
Okay, I'm ready. Section 3, divine unity. O men, serve your Lord who created you and those before you, so that you may guard against evil, who made the earth a resting place for you, and the heaven a structure, and sends down rain from the clouds, then brings forth with it fruits for your sustenance. So do not set up rivals to Allah while you know. And if you are in doubt as to that which we have revealed to our servant, then produce a chapter like it, and call on your helpers besides Allah if you are truthful. But if you do it not, and you can never do it, then be on your guard against the fire whose fuel is men and stones. It is prepared for the disbelievers. And give good news to those who believe and do good deeds, that for them are gardens in which rivers flow. Whenever they are given a portion of the fruit thereof, they will say, this is what was given to us before, and they are given the like of it. And for them therein and pure companions, and therein they will abide. Surely Allah disdains not to set forth any parable, a gnat or anything above that. Then, as for those who believe, they know that it is the truth from their Lord. And as for those who disbelieve, they say, what is it that Allah means by this parable? Many he leaves in error by it, and many he leads awry by it. And he leaves in error by it only the transgressors, who break the covenant of Allah after its confirmation and cut asunder what Allah has ordered to be joined, and make mischief in the land. These it is that are the losers. How can you deny Allah and you were without life, and he gave you life? Again, he will cause you to die, and again bring you back to life. Then you shall be brought back to him. He is it who created for you all, and that is in the earth. And he directed himself to the heaven, and he made them complete 7 heavens. And he is knower of all things. Section 4, greatness of man
Oh
and
no,
need for.
just one section.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know where to stop.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Yes, sir. Let's go to the wellness preacher.
How do I mute myself again?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Section 4, greatness of man in need of revelation. And when thy Lord said to the angels, I am going to place a ruler in the earth, they said, will thou place in it such as make mischief in and shed blood? And we celebrate thy praise and extol thy holiness. He said, surely I know what you know not. And he taught Adam all the names, then presented them to the angels. He said, tell me the names of those if you are right. They said, glory be to thee. We have no knowledge but that which thou hast taught us. Surely thou art the knowing, the wise. He said, O Adam, inform them of their names. So when he informed them of their names, he said, did I not say to you that I know what is unseen in the heavens and the earth, and I know what you manifest and what you hide? And when we said to the angels, be submissive to Adam, they submitted, but Iblis did not. He refused and was proud, and he was of the disbelievers. And we said, O Adam, dwell thou and thy wife in the garden, and eat from it a plenteous food, wherever you wish, and approach not this tree, lest you be of the unjust. But the devil made them slip from it, and caused them to depart from the state in which they were. And we said, go forth. Some of you are the enemies of others. And there is for you in the earth an abode, and a provision for a time. Then Adam received revealed words from his Lord, and he turned to him mercifully, Surely he is oft returning to mercy, the merciful. We said, go forth from this state, all. Surely there will come to you a guidance from me. Then whoever follows my guidance, no fear shall come upon them, nor shall they grieve. And as to those who disbelieve and reject our messages, they are the companions of the fire, in it they will abide.
Thank you. Brother Daniel.
Section 5, Israelite prophecies fulfilled in Quran. O children of Israel, call to mind my favor which I bestowed on you, and be faithful to your covenant with me. I shall fulfill my covenant with you, and me alone should you fear. And believe in that which I have revealed, verifying that which is with you, and be not the first to deny it. Neither take a mean price for my messages, and keep your duty to me alone. And mix not up truth with falsehood, nor hide the truth while you know. And keep up prayer, and pay the poor rate, and bow down with those who bow down. Do you enjoin men to be good and neglect your own souls while you read the book? Have you then no sense? And seek assistance through patience and prayer. And this is hard except for the humbled ones, who know that they will meet their Lord, and that to him they will return.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Excellent.
All right. Section 6, Divine Favors on Israel. O children of Israel, call to mind my favor which I bestowed on you, and that I made you excel the nations. And guard yourselves against a day when no soul will avail another in the least. Neither will intercession be accepted on its behalf, nor will compensation be taken from it, nor will they be helped. And when we delivered you from Pharaoh's people, who subjected you to severe torment, killing your sons and sparing your women, and in this there was a great trial from your Lord. And when we parted the sea for you, so we saved you and drowned the people of Pharaoh while you saw. And when we appointed a time of 40 nights with Moses, then you took the calf for a god after him, and you were unjust. Then we pardoned you after that, so that you might give thanks. And when we gave Moses the book and the discrimination, that you might walk aright. And when Moses said to his people, O my people, you have surely wronged yourselves by taking the calf for a god. So turn to your Creator penitently and kill your passions. That is best for you with your Creator. So he turned to you mercifully. Surely he is the oft returning to mercy, the merciful. And when you said, O Moses, we will not believe in thee till we see Allah manifestly. So the punishment overtook you while you looked on. Then we raised you up after your stupor, that you might give thanks. And we made the clouds to give shade over you, and we sent to you manna and quails. Eat of the good things that we have given you. And they did not do us any harm, but they wronged their own souls. And when we said, enter this city, then eat from it a plenteous food, whence you wish, and enter the gates submissively, and make petition for forgiveness. We will forgive you your wrongs and increase the reward of those who do good to others. But those who were unjust changed the word which had been spoken to them for another, saying, so we sent upon the wrongdoers a pestilence from heaven because they transgressed.
Yes, sir. Section 7, Divine Favors on Israel. And when Moses prayed for water for his people, we said, march on to the rock with thy staff. So there flowed from it 12 springs. Each tribe knew their drinking place. Eat and drink of the provisions of Allah, and act not corruptly, making mischief in the land. And when you said, O Moses, we cannot endure one food, So pray thou, Lord, on our behalf to bring forth for us out of what the earth grows of its herbs and its cucumbers and its garlic and its lentils and its onions. He said, would you exchange that which is better for that which is worse? Enter a city, so you will have what you ask for. And abasement and humiliation were stamped upon them, and they incurred Allah's wrath. That was so because they disbelieved in the messages of Allah and would kill the prophets unjustly. That was so because they disobeyed and exceeded the limits. Section 8, Brother Khalil.
Yes, sir. Section 8, Israelites, degeneration. Surely those who believe and those who are Jews and the Christians and the Sabians, whoever believes in Allah in the last day and go and does good, they have their reward with their Lord, and there is no fear for them, nor shall they grieve. And when we made a covenant with you and raised the mountain above you, hold fast that which we have given you, and bear in mind what is in it, so that you may guard against evil. Then after that, you turn back, and had it not been for the grace of Allah and His mercy on you, you had certainly been among the losers. And indeed, you know those among you who violated the Sabbath. So we said to them, be as apes, despised and hated. So we made them an example to those who witnessed it, and those who came after it, and an admonition to those who guard against evil. And when Moses said to his people, surely Allah commands you to sacrifice a cow, they said, dost thou ridicule us? He said, I seek refuge with Allah from being one of the ignorant. They said, call on thy Lord for our sake to make it plain to us what she is. Moses said, he says, surely she is a cow, neither advanced in age nor too young, of middle age between these two. So do what you are commanded. They said, call on thy Lord for our sake to make it clear to us what her color is. Moses said, he says, she is a yellow cow. Her color is intensely yellow, delighting the beholders. They said, call on thy Lord for our sake to make it clear to us what she is. For surely to us the cows are all alike. And if Allah please, we shall surely be guided aright. Moses said, he says, she is a cow not made submissive to plow the land, nor does she water the tilth sound without a blemish in her. They said, now thou hast brought the truth. So they slaughtered her, though they had not the mind to do it.
Yes, sir. Brother Marcus.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you, section 9, the growth in hardness. And when you almost killed a man, then you disagreed about it, and Allah was to bring forth that which you are going to hide. So we said, smite him with it partially. Thus Allah brings the dead to life, and He shows you His signs that you may understand. Then your hearts hardened after that, so that they were like rocks, rather worse in hardness. And surely there are some rocks from which streams burst forth, and there are some of them which split asunder, so water flows from them. And there are some of them which fall down for the fear of Allah, and Allah is not heedless of what you do. Do you then hope that they would believe in you, and a party from among them indeed used to hear the word of Allah, then altered it after they had understood it, and they know this. And when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. And when they are part one with another, they say, do you talk to them of what Allah has disclosed to you, that they may be content with you by this before your Lord? Do you not understand? Do they not know that Allah knows what they keep secret and what they make known? and some of them are illiterate. They know not the book, but only from hearsay, and they do not conjecture. Woe then to those who write the book with their hands, then say, this is from Allah, so that they may take for it a small price. So woe to them for what their hands write, and woe to them for what they earn. And they say, fire will not touch us but for a few days. Say, have you received a promise from Allah? Then Allah will not fail to perform his promise. Or do you speak against Allah what you know not? Yeah, whoever yearns evil and his sins beset him on every side. Those are the companions of the fire, therein they abide. And those who believe and do good deeds, these are the owners of the garden, therein they abide.
Yes, sir. The wellness preacher.
Yes, sir. Section 10, their covenant and its violation. And when we made a covenant with the children of Israel, you shall serve none but Allah, and do good to your parents, and to the near of kin, and to orphans and the needy, and speak good words to all men, and keep up prayer, and pay the poor rate. Then you turn back, except a few of you, and you are averse. And when we made a covenant with you, you shall not shed your blood, nor turn your people out of your cities. Then you promise and you bear witness. Yet you it is who will slay your people and turn a party from among you out of their homes, backing each other up against them unlawfully and exceeding the limits. And if they should come to you as captives, you will ransom them, whereas their turning out itself was unlawful for you. Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world? And on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement, and the law is not heedless of what you do. These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped. You want me to read that next section too, brother, or just stop right here?
You can start right there, Brother Daniel.
Yes.
Section 11, they reject the prophet. And we indeed gave Moses the book, and we sent messengers after him, one after another. And we gave Jesus, son of Mary, clear arguments and strengthened him with the Holy Spirit. Is it then that whenever there came to you a messenger with what your souls desire not, you were arrogant? And some of you gave the lie to, and others, and some you gave the lie to, and others you would slay. And they say, our hearts are repositories. Nay, Allah has cursed them on account of their unbelief. So little it is that they believe. And when there came to them a book from Allah, verifying that which they have, and aforetime they used to pray for victory against those who disbelieved. But when there came to them that which they recognized, they disbelieved in it. So Allah's curse is on the disbelievers. Evil is that for which they sell their souls, that they should deny that which Allah has revealed out of envy, that Allah should send down of his grace on whomsoever of his servants he pleases. So they incur wrath upon wrath, and there is an abasing chastisement for the disbelievers. And when it is said to them, believe in that which Allah has revealed, they say, we believe in that which was revealed to us. And they deny what is besides that, while it is the truth, verifying that which they have. Say, why then did you kill Allah's prophets before this if you were believers? And Moses indeed came to you with clear arguments. Then you took the calf for a god in his absence, and you were wrongdoers. And when we made a covenant with you and raised the mountain above you, take hold of that which we have given you with firmness and obey. They said, we hear and disobey. And they were made to imbibe the love of the calf into their hearts on account of their disbelief. Say, evil is that which your faith bids you if you are believers. Say, if the abode of the hereafter with Allah, especially for you to the exclusion of the people, then invoke death if you are truthful. And they will never invoke it on account of what their hands have sent on before. And Allah knows the wrongdoers, and thou wilt certainly find them the greediest of men for life, greedier than those who set up gods with God. One of them loves to be granted a life of 1,000 years, and his being granted a long life will in no way remove him further off from the chastisement. And Allah is seer of what they do.
Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Section 12. Their enmity to the prophet. Say, whoever is an enemy to Gabriel, for surely he revealed it to thy heart by Allah's command, verifying that which is before it and a guidance and glad tidings for the believers. Whoever is an enemy to Allah and his angels and his messengers and Gabriel and Michael, then surely Allah is an enemy to disbelievers. And we indeed have revealed to thee clear messages, and none disbelieve in them except the transgressors. Is it that whenever they make a covenant, a party of them cast it aside? Nay, most of them have no faith. And when there came to them a messenger from Allah verifying that which they have, a party of those who were given the book threw the book of Allah behind their backs as if they knew nothing. And they follow what the devils fabricated against the kingdom of Solomon. And Solomon disbelieved not, but the devils disbelieved, teaching men enchantment. And it was not revealed to the two angels in Babel, Harut and Marut, nor did they teach it to anyone, so that they should have said, we are only a trial, so disbelieve not. But they learn from these two sources that by which they make a distinction between a man and his wife, and they cannot hurt with it anyone except with Allah's permission. And they learn that which harms them and profits them not. And certainly they know that he who buys it has no share of good in the hereafter. And surely evil is the price for which they have sold their souls, did they but know. And if they had believed and kept their duty, reward from Allah would certainly have been better, did they but know.
Praise be to Allah. Section 13. Previous scriptures are abrogated. O you who believe, say not Ra'ina and say Unzurana and listen. And for the disbelievers, there is a painful chastisement. Neither those who disbelieve from among the people of the book, nor the polytheists, like that any good should be sent down to you from your Lord. And Allah chooses whom he pleases for his mercy, and Allah is the Lord of mighty grace. Whatever message we abrogate or cause to be forgotten, we bring one better than it or one like it. Knowest thou not that Allah is possessor of power over all things? Knowest thou not that Allah is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and that besides Allah you have not any friend or helper? Rather you wish to put questions to your messenger, as Moses was questioned before. And whoever adopts disbelief instead of faith, he indeed has lost the right direction of way. Many of the people of the book wish that they could turn you back into disbelievers after you have believed, out of envy from themselves, after truth has become manifest to them. But pardon and forgive till Allah bring about his command. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things. And keep up prayer and pay the poor rate. And whatever good you send before for yourselves, you will find it with Allah. Surely Allah is the seer of what you do. And they say, none shall enter the garden except he who is a Jew, or the Christians. These are their vain desires. Say, bring your proof if you are truthful. Nay, whoever submits himself entirely to Allah, and he is the doer of good to others, he has his reward from his Lord, and there is no fear for such, nor shall he grieve. Brother Khalil.
Yes, sir. Section 14. Perfect guidance is only in Islam. And the Jews say the Christians follow nothing good. And the Christians say the Jews follow nothing good, while they recite the same book. Even thus say those who have no knowledge, like what they say. So Allah will judge between them on the day of resurrection in that wherein they differ. And who is more unjust than he who prevents men from the mosque of Allah, from his name being remembered therein, and strives to ruin them? As for these, it was not proper for them to enter them except in fear. For them is a disgrace in this world, and there is a grievous chastisement in the hereafter. And Allah's is the east and the west. So whether you turn thither is Allah's purpose. Surely Allah is ample giving, knowing. And they say, Allah has taken to himself a son. Glory be to him. Rather, whatever is in the heavens and the earth is his. All are obedient to him. Wonderful originator of the heavens and the earth. And when he decrees an affair, he says to it only, be, and it is. And those who have no knowledge say, why does not Allah speak to us, or a sign come to us? Even thus said those before them, the like of what they say. Their hearts are all alike. Indeed, we have made the messages clear for a people who are sure. Surely we have sent thee with the truth as a bearer of good news and as a warner, and thou wilt not be called upon to answer for them. Answer for the companions of the flaming fire. And the Jews will not be pleased with thee, nor the Christians, unless thou follow their religion. Say, surely Allah's guidance, that is the perfect guidance. And if thou follow their desires after the knowledge that has come to thee, thou shalt have from Allah no friend nor helper. Those to whom we have given the book follow it as it ought to be followed. These believe in it, and whoever disbelieves in it, these it is that are the losers.
Brother Marcus.
Section 15, Covenant with Abraham. O children of Israel, call to mind my favor which I bestowed on you, and that I made you excel the nations. And be on your guard against the day when no soul will avail another in the least, nor will any compensation be accepted from it, nor will intercession profited, nor will they be helped. And when his Lord tried Abraham with the certain commands, he fulfilled them. He said, surely I will make thee a leader of men. Abraham said, and of my offspring, my covenant does not include the wrongdoers. He said, and when we made the house a resort for men and a place of security, and take ye the place of Abraham for a place of prayer. And we enjoined Abraham and Ishmael, saying, purify my house for those who visit it, and those who abide in it, for devotion, and those who bow down, and those who prostrate themselves. And when Abraham said, my Lord, make this a secure town and provide its people with fruits, such of them as believe in Allah and the last day. He said, and whoever disbelieves, I shall grant him enjoyment for a short while. Then I shall drive him to the chastisement of the fire, and it is an evil destination. And when Abraham and Ishmael raised the foundations of the house, our Lord, accept from us, surely thou art the hearing, the knowing. Our Lord, and make us both submissive to thee, and raise from our offspring a nation submissive to thee, and show us our ways of devotion, and turn to us mercifully. Surely thou art the oft returning to mercy, the merciful, our Lord, and raise up in them a messenger from among them who shall recite to them thy messages and teach them the book and the wisdom and purify them. Surely thou art the mighty, the wise.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Section 16, the religion of Abraham. And who forsakes the religion of Abraham, but he who makes a fool of himself? And certainly we made him pure in this world, and in the hereafter he is surely among the righteous. When his Lord said to him, Submit, he said, I submit myself to the Lord of the worlds. And the same did Abraham, and joined on his sons, and so did Jacob. O my sons, surely Allah has chosen for you this religion, so die not unless you are submitting ones. Or were you witnesses when death visited Jacob, when he said to his sons, What will you serve after me? They said, We shall serve thy God and the God of thy fathers. Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac, one God only, and to him do we submit. Those are a people that have passed away. For them is what they earn, and for you what you earn, and you will not be asked of what they did. And they say, Be Jews or Christians, you will be on the right course. Say, Nay, we follow the religion of Abraham, the upright one, and he was not one of the polytheists. Say, We believe in Allah and in that which has been revealed to us, and in that which was revealed to Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and the tribes, and in that which was given to Moses and Jesus, and in that which was given to the prophets from their Lord. We do not make any distinction between any of them, and to him do we submit. So if they believe as you believe, they are indeed on the right course, and if they turn back, then they are only in opposition. But Allah will suffice thee against them, and he is the hearing, the knowing. We take Allah's color, and who is better than Allah at coloring, and we are his worshipers. Say, do you dispute with us about Allah? And he is our Lord and your Lord, and for us are our deeds, and for you your deeds, and we are sincere to him. Or do you say that Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and the tribes were Jews or Christians? Say, do you know better or Allah? And who is more unjust than he who conceals a testimony that he has from Allah, and Allah is not heedless of what you do? Those are a people those are a people that have passed away, and for them is what they earn, and for you what you earn, and you will not be asked of what they did. Allahu Akbar.
Praise be to Allah. That is part one. We are on. We're gonna go. We're about to do part two because just of how it is. So we're not done, Sister Randy. That was just part one. We're gonna do part one and part two. So we're about to complete part two, and then we'll be caught up for the day. I do want to quickly announce. 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, time is flying. When we first started this, I believe Sister Randy said we had 13 people that did this. When I was like, hey, let's just read together. And we had about 13 people participating. I'm happy to announce that today, March 1st, at 6:44 a.m. Central Time, we have over 300 people tuned in right now. 243 people on social media, and my Zoom got capped. I got to figure that out. 100 people on Zoom. So we have over 300 people tuned in right now participating with us in Ramadan. So all praise is due to Allah. Thank everybody for tuning in this morning. All right, Brother Daniel, you can continue with part two, section 17.
Yes, sir. Part 2, Section 17, the Kaaba as the spiritual sanctuary. The fools among the people will say, what has turned them from their Qibla, which they had? Say, the east and the west belong only to Allah. He guides whom he pleases to the right path. And thus we have made you an exalted nation, that you may be the bearers of witness to the people, and that the messenger may be a bearer of witness to you. And we did not make that which thou wouldest have to be the Qibla, but that we might distinguish him who follows the messenger from him who turns back upon his heels. It was indeed a hard test, except for those whom Allah has guided. Nor was Allah going to make your faith to be fruitless. Surely Allah is compassionate, merciful to the people. Indeed, we see the turning of thy face to heaven. So we shall surely make thee master of the Qibla which thou likest. Turn then thy face towards the sacred mosque, and wherever you are, turn your faces toward it. And those who have been given the book certainly know that it is the truth from their Lord, and Allah is not heedless of what they do. And even if thou shouldest bring to those who have been given the book every sign, they would not follow thy Qibla, nor canst thou be a follower of their Qibla. Neither are they the followers of each other's Qibla. And if thou shouldest follow their desires after the knowledge that has come to thee, then thou wouldest indeed be of the wrongdoers. Those whom we have given the book recognize him as they recognize their sons, and a party of them surely conceal the truth while they know. The truth is from thy Lord, so be not thou of the doubters.
Brother Remus.
Section 18. The Kaaba as the spiritual center. And everyone has a goal to which he turns himself. So vie with one another in good works. Wherever you are, Allah will bring you all together. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things. And from whatsoever place thou comest forth, turn thy face towards the sacred mosque. And surely it is the truth from thy Lord. And Allah is not heedless of what you do. And from whatsoever place thou comest forth, turn thy face towards the sacred mosque. And wherever you are, turn your faces towards it, so that people may have no plea against you, except such of them as are unjust. So fear them not, and fear me, and that I may complete my favor to you, and that you may go aright. Even as we have sent among you a messenger from among you, who recites to you our messages, and purifies you, and teaches you the book and the wisdom, and teaches you that which you did not know. Therefore glorify me. I will make you eminent, and give thanks to me, and be not ungrateful to me.
All right. Section 19. Hard trials necessary to establish truth. O you who believe, seek assistance through patience and prayer. Surely Allah is with the patient. And speak not of those who are slain in Allah's way as dead. Nay, they are alive, but you perceive not. And we shall certainly try you with something of fear and hunger and loss of property and lives and fruits, and give good news to the patient, who when a misfortune befalls them, they say, surely we are Allah's, and to him we shall return. Those are they on whom are blessings and mercy from their Lord, and those are the followers of the right course. The Safa and the Marwa are truly among the signs of Allah. So whoever makes a pilgrimage to the house or pays a visit to it, there is no blame on him if he goes around them. And whoever does good spontaneously, surely Allah is bountiful and rewarding, knowing. Those who conceal the clear proofs and the guidance that we revealed after we have made it clear in the book for them, these it is whom Allah curses, and those who curse them too. Except those who repent and amend and make manifest the truth, these it is to whom I turn mercifully, and I am the oft returning to mercy, the merciful. Those who disbelieve and die while they are disbelievers, these it is on whom is the curse of Allah and the angels and men of all of them. Abiding therein, their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be given respite. And your God is one God. There is no God but He. He is the beneficent, the merciful.
Section 20, unity must prevail. In the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and the day, and the ships that run in the sea with that which profits men, and the water that Allah sends down from the sky, then gives life therewith to the earth after its death, and spreads in it all kinds of animals, and the changing of the winds and the clouds made subservient between heaven and earth. There are surely signs for a people who understand. Yet there are some men who take for themselves objects of worship besides Allah, whom they love as they should love Allah. And those who believe are stronger in their love for Allah. And oh that the wrongdoers had seen, when they see the chastisement, the power is wholly Allah's, and that Allah is severe in chastising. When those who follow renounce those who follow them, and they see the chastisement, and their ties are cut asunder, and those who follow will say, if we could but return, we would renounce them as they have renounced us. Thus will Allah show them their deeds to be intense regret to them, and they will not escape from the fire.
Sir, Brother Marcus.
Section 21, prohibited foods. O men, eat the lawful and good things from what is in the earth, and follow not the footsteps of the devil. Surely he is an open enemy to you. He enjoins on you only evil and indecency, and that you speak against Allah what you know not. And when it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they say, nay, we follow that wherein we find our fathers. What? Even though their fathers had no sense at all, nor did they follow the right way? And the parable of those who disbelieve is as the parable of one who calls out to that which hears no more than a call and a cry. Deaf, dumb, blind, so they have no sense. O you who believe, eat of the good things that we have provided you with, and give thanks to Allah if He it is whom you serve. He has forbidden you only what dies of itself, and blood, and the flesh of swine, and that over which any other name than that of Allah has been invoked. Then whoever is driven by necessity, not desiring nor exceeding the limit, no sin is upon him. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Those who had concealed aught of the book that Allah has revealed and take for it a small price, they eat nothing but fire into their bellies. And Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will He purify them. And for them is a painful chastisement. Those are they who buy error for guidance and chastisement for forgiveness. How bold they are to challenge the fire. That is because Allah has revealed the book with truth. And surely those who disagree about the book go far in opposition.
Wellness preacher.
Yes, sir. Section 22, retaliation and bequest. It is not righteousness that you turn your faces towards the east and the west, but righteous is the one who believes in Allah and the last day, in the angels, and the book, and the prophets, and gives away wealth out of love for him to the near of kin, and the orphans, and the needy, and the wayfarer, and to those who ask, and to set slaves free, and keeps up prayer and pays a poor rate, and the performers of their promise when they make a promise, and the patient in distress, in affliction, and in the time of conflict. These are they who are truthful, and these are they who keep their duty. O you who believe, retaliation is prescribed for you in the matter of the slain, the free for the free, and the slave for the slave, and the female for the female. But if remission is made to one by his aggrieved brother, persecution for blood money should be according to usage, and payment to him in a good manner. This is an alleviation from your Lord and a mercy. Whoever exceeds the limit after this, will have a painful chastisement, and there is life for you in retaliation, O man of understanding, that you may guard yourselves. It is prescribed for you when death approaches one of you, if he leaves behind wealth for parents and their relatives to make a bequest in a kindly manner. It is incumbent upon the dutiful. Then whoever changes it after he has heard it, the sin of it is only upon those who change it. Surely Allah is hearing, knowing. But if one fears a wrong or a sinful course on the part of the testator and affects an agreement between the parties, there is no blame on him. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful.
Brother Daniel.
Section 23, fasting. All you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you, as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may guard against evil. For a certain number of days, but whoever among you is sick or on a journey, he should fast a like number of other days. And those who find it extremely hard may affect redemption by feeding a poor man. So whoever does good spontaneously, it is better for him. And that you fast is better for you if you know. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed, a guidance to men and clear proofs of the guidance and the criterion. So whoever of you is present in the month, he shall fast therein. And whoever is sick or on a journey, he shall fast a like number of other days. Allah desires ease for you, and He desires not hardship for you, and He desires that you should complete the number and that you should exalt the greatness of Allah for having guided you, and that you may give thanks. And when my servants ask thee concerning me, surely I am nigh. I answer the prayer of the suppliant when he calls on me, so they should hear my call and believe in me, that they may walk in the right way. It is made lawful for you to go into your wives on the night of the fast. They are an apparel for you, and you are an apparel for them. Allah knows that you acted unjustly to yourselves, so He turned to you in mercy and removed the burden from you. So now be in contact with them and seek what Allah has ordained for you, and eat and drink until the whiteness of the day becomes distinct from the blackness of the night at dawn. Then complete the fast to nightfall, and touch them not while you keep to the mosque. These are the limits of Allah, so go not near them. Thus does Allah make clear His messages for men that they may keep their duty. And swallow not up your property among yourselves by false means, nor seek to gain access thereby to the judges, so that you may swallow up a part of the property of men wrongfully while you know.
Brother Remus.
Section 24, fighting in defense. They ask thee of the new moons. Say, they are times appointed for men and for the pilgrimage. And it is not righteousness that you enter the houses by their backs, but he is righteous who keeps his duty, and go into the houses by their doors, and keep your duty to Allah, that you may be successful. And fight in the way of Allah against those who fight against you, but be not aggressive. Surely Allah loves not the aggressors. And kill them wherever you find them, and drive them out from where they drove you out. And persecution is worse than slaughter. And fight not with them at the sacred mosque until they fight with you in it. So if they fight you in it, slay them. Such is the recompense of the disbelievers. But if they desist, then surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And fight them until there is no persecution, and religion is only for Allah. But if they desist, then there should be no hostility except against the oppressors. Excuse me. The sacred month for the sacred month. The retaliation is allowed in sacred things. Whoever then acts aggressively against you, inflict injury on him according to the injury he has inflicted on you, and keep your duty to Allah. And know that Allah is with those who keep their duty. And spend in the way of Allah, and cast not yourselves to perdition with your own hands, and do good to others. Surely Allah loves the doers of good. And accomplish the pilgrimage and the visit for Allah. But if you are prevented, send whatever offering is easy to obtain, and shave not your heads until the offering reaches its destination. Then whoever among you is sick or has an ailment of the head, he may effect a compensation by fasting or alms or sacrificing. And when you are secure, whoever profits by combining the visit with the pilgrimage should take whatever offering is easy to obtain. But he who cannot find an offering should fast for 3 days during the pilgrimage, and for 7 days when you return. These are 10 days complete. This is for him whose family is not present in the sacred mosque. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that Allah is severe in requiting evil.
Section 2, the pilgrimage. The months of the pilgrimage are well known, so whoever determines to perform pilgrimage therein, there shall be no immodest speech, nor abusing, nor altercation in the pilgrimage. And whatever good you do, Allah knows it, and make provision for yourselves, the best provision being to keep one's duty, and keep your duty to me, O men of understanding. It is no sin for you that you seek the bounty of your Lord. So when you press on from Arafat, remember Allah near the holy monument, and remember him as he has guided you, though before that you were certainly of the erring ones. Then hasten on from where the people hasten on, and ask the forgiveness of Allah. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And when you have performed your devotion, laud Allah as you lauded your fathers, rather a more hearty lauding. But there are some people who say, Our Lord, give us in the world, and for such there is no portion in the hereafter. And there are some among them who say, Our Lord, grant us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and save us from the chastisement of the fire. For those there is a portion on account of what they have earned, and Allah is swift in reckoning. And remember Allah during the appointed days. Then whoever has tens off in 2 days, it is no sin for him. And whoever stays behind, it is no sin for him, for one who keeps his duty. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that you will be gathered together to him. And of men is he whose speech about the life of this world pleases thee, and he calls Allah to witness as to that which is in his heart, yet he is the most violent of adversaries. And when he holds authority, he makes effort in the land to cause mischief in it and destroy tilth and offspring. And Allah loves not mischief. And when it is said to him, be careful of thy duty to Allah, pride carries him off to sin. So hell is sufficient for him. And certainly evil is the resting place. And of men is he who sells himself to seek pleasure of Allah. And Allah is compassionate to the servants. O you who believe, enter into complete peace and follow not the footsteps of the devil. Surely he is your open enemy. But if you slip after clear arguments have come to you, then know that Allah is mighty wise. They wait for naught, but that Allah should come to them in the shadows of the clouds with angels. And the matter has already been decided, and to Allah are all matters returned.
Section 26, Trials and Tribulations. Ask of the children of Israel how many a clear sign we gave them, and whoever changes the favor of Allah after it has come to him, then surely Allah is severe in requiting evil. The life of this world is made to seem fair to those who disbelieve, and they mock those who believe. And those who keep their duty will be above them on the day of resurrection. And Allah gives to whom He pleases without measure. Mankind is a single nation, so Allah raised prophets as bearers of good news and as warners, and He revealed with them the book with truth, that it might judge between people concerning that in which they differed. And none but the very people who were given it differed about it after clear arguments had come to them, envying one another. So Allah has guided by His will those who believe to the truth about which they differed, and Allah guides whom He pleases to the right path. Or do you think that you will enter the garden while there has not yet befallen you the like of what befell those who have passed away before you? Distress and affliction befell them, and they were shaken violently, so that the messenger and those who believed with him said, when will the help of Allah come? Now surely the help of Allah is nigh. They asked thee as to what they should spend. Say, whatever wealth you spend, it is for the parents, and the near of kin, and the orphans, and the needy, and the wayfarer. And whatever good you do, Allah surely is knower of it. Fighting is enjoined on you, though it is disliked by you. And it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you. And it may be that you love a thing while it is evil for you. And Allah knows while you know not.
Brother Marcus.
Section 27, miscellaneous questions. They ask thee about fighting in the sacred month. Say, fighting in it is a grave offense, and hindering men from Allah's way and denying Him and the sacred mosque and turning its people out of it are still graver with Allah. And persecution is graver than slaughter, and they will not cease fighting you until they turn you back from your religion, if they can. And whoever of you turns back from his religion, then he dies while an unbeliever. These it is, these it is whose works go for nothing in this world and the hereafter, and they are the companions of the fire. Therein they will abide. Those who believed and those who fled their homes and strove hard in Allah's way, these surely hope for the mercy of Allah, and Allah is forgiving, merciful. They ask thee about intoxicants and games of chance. Say in both of them is a great sin and some advantage for men, and their sin is greater than their advantage. And they ask thee as to what they should spend. Say, what you can spare. Thus does Allah make clear to you the messages that you may ponder on this world and the hereafter. And they ask thee concerning the orphans. Say, to set right their affairs is good, and if you mix with them, they are your brethren. And Allah knows him who makes mischief from him who sets right. And Allah is pleased. And if Allah pleased, He would have made matters difficult for you. Surely Allah is mighty, wise. And marry not the adulteresses until they believe. And certainly a believing maid is better than an idolatress, even though she please you. Nor give believing women in marriage to idolaters until they believe. And certainly a believing slave is better than an idolater, even though he pleases you. These invite to the fire, and Allah invites to the garden and to forgiveness by His will. And He made clear His messages to men that they may be merciful.
The wellness preacher.
Section 28, divorce. And they ask thee about menstruation. Say, it is harmful. So keep aloof from women during menstrual discharge and go not near them until they are clean. But when they have cleansed themselves, go into them as Allah has commanded you. Surely Allah loves those who turn much to Him, and He loves those who purify themselves. Your wives are a tilt for you, so go into your tilt when you like, and send good beforehand for yourselves, and keep your duty to Allah, and know that you will meet him and give good news to the believers. And make not Allah by your oath a hindrance to your doing good and keeping your duty and making peace between men. And Allah is hearing, knowing. Allah will not call you to account for what is vain in your oaths, but he will call you to account for what your hearts have earned. And Allah is forgiving, forbearing. Those who swear that they will not go into their wives should wait 4 months. Then, if they go back, Allah is surely forgiving, merciful. And if they resolve on a divorce, Allah is surely hearing, knowing. And the divorced women should keep themselves in waiting for 3 courses, and it is not lawful for them to conceal that which Allah has created in their wombs. If they believe in Allah in the last day, and their husbands have a better right to take them back in the meanwhile, if they wish for reconciliation. And women have rights similar to those against them in a just manner, and men are a degree above them, and Allah is mighty wise.
Brother Dane.
Section 29, divorce. Divorce may be pronounced twice. Then keep them in good fellowship or let them go with kindness. And it is not lawful for you to take any part of what you have given them, unless both fear that they cannot keep within the limits of Allah. Then, if you fear that they cannot keep within the limits of Allah, there is no blame on them for what she gives up to become free thereby. These are the limits of Allah, so exceed them not. And whoever exceeds the limits of Allah, these are the wrongdoers. So if he divorces her the third time, she shall not be lawful to him afterwards until she marries another husband. If he divorces her, there is no blame on them both if they return to each other by marriage, if they think that they can keep within the limits of Allah. And these are the limits of Allah, which he makes clear for a people who know. And when you divorce women and they reach their prescribed time, then retain them in kindness or set them free with kindness, and retain them not for injury, so that you exceed the limits. And whoever does this, he indeed wrongs his own soul. And take not Allah's messages for a mockery, and remember Allah's favor to you, and that which He has revealed to you of the book and the wisdom, admonishing you thereby. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that Allah is the knower of all things.
Brother Remus.
Section 30. Remarriage of divorced women and widows. And when you divorce women and they end their term, prevent them not from marrying their husbands if they agree among themselves in a lawful manner. With this is admonished he among you who believes in Allah in the last day. This is more profitable for you and purer. And Allah knows while you know not. And mothers shall suckle their children for 2 whole years, for him who desires to complete the time of suckling. And their maintenance and their clothing must be borne by the father according to usage. No soul shall be burdened beyond its capacity. Neither shall a mother be made to suffer harm on account of her child, nor a father on account of his child. And a similar duty devolves on the father's heir. But if both desire weaning by mutual consent and counsel, there is no blame on them. And if you wish to engage a wet nurse for your children, there is no blame on you so long as you pay what you promised according to usage. And keep your duty to Allah, and know that Allah is seer of what you do. And as for those of you who die and leave wives behind, such women should keep themselves in waiting for 4 months and 10 days. When they reach their term, there is no blame on you for what they do for themselves in a lawful manner. And Allah is aware of what you do. And there is no blame on you respecting that which you speak indirectly in the asking of such women in marriage, or keep the proposal concealed within your minds. Allah knows that you will have them in your minds, but give them not a promise in secret unless you speak in a lawful manner. And confirm not the marriage tie until the prescribed period reaches its end. And know that Allah knows what is in your minds. So beware of Him, and know that Allah is forgiving, forbearing.
Section 31, provision for divorced women and widows. There is no blame on you if you divorce women while yet you have not touched them, nor appointed for them a portion, and provide for them the wealthy according to his means, and the straitened according to his means, a provision according to usage. This is a duty on the doers of good. And if you divorce them before you have touched them, and you have appointed for them a portion, pay half of what you have appointed, unless they forego or he foregoes, in whose hand is the marriage tie. And it is near to dutifulness that you forego, nor neglect the giving of free gifts between you. Surely Allah is the seer of what you do. Guard the prayers in the most excellent prayer, and stand up truly obedient to Allah. But if you are in danger, say your prayers on foot or on a horseback, and when you are secure, remember Allah as He has taught you what you knew not. And those of you who die and leave wives behind should make a bequest in favor of their wives of maintenance for a year without turning them out. Then if they themselves go away, there is no blame on you for what they do or lawful deeds concerning themselves, and Allah is mighty wise. And for the divorced women, provision must be made in kindness. This is incumbent on those who have regard for duty. Allah thus makes clear to you His messages that you may understand. Brother Khalil.
Yes, sir. Section 32, fighting in the cause of truth. Hast thou not considered those who went forth from their homes, and they were thousands, for fear of death? Then Allah said to them, Die. Then He gave them life. Surely Allah is gracious to a people, but most people are not grateful. And fight in the way of Allah, and know that Allah is hearing, knowing. Who is it that will offer to Allah a goodly gift, so He multiplies it to him manifold? And Allah receives and amplifies, and to Him you shall be returned. Hast thou not thought of the leaders of the children of Israel after Moses, when they said to a prophet of theirs, Raise up for us a king, that we might fight in the way of Allah? He said, May it not be that you will not fight, if fighting is ordained for you? They said, And what reason have we that we should not fight in Allah's way? And we have indeed been deprived of our homes and our children. But when fighting was ordained for them, they turned back, except a few of them, and Allah is knower of the wrongdoers. And the prophet said to them, Surely Allah has raised Saul to be a king over you. They said, How can he have kingdom over us while we have a greater right to kingdom than he? And he has not been granted abundance of wealth. He said, Surely Allah has chosen him above you, and has increased him abundantly in knowledge and physique. And Allah grants His kingdom to whom He pleases, and Allah is ample giving, knowing. And their prophet said to them, Surely the sign of His kingdom is that there shall come to you the heart in which there is tranquility from your Lord. And the best of what the followers of Moses and the followers of Aaron have left, the angels bearing it. Surely there is a sign in this for you, if you are believers.
Brother Marcus.
Section 33, fighting in the cause of truth. So when Saul set out with the forces, he said, Surely Allah will try you with the river. Whoever drinks from it, he is not of me, and whoever tasted not, he is not of me, and whoever tastes not, he is surely of me, except he who takes a handful with his hand, but they drank of it, save a few of them. So when he had crossed it, he and those who believed with him, they said, we have today no power against Goliath and his forces. Those who were sure that they would meet their Lord said, how often has a small party vanquished a numerous hosts by Allah's permission? And Allah is with the steadfast. And when they went out against Goliath and his forces, they said, our Lord, pour out patience on us and make our steps firm and help us against our disbelieving people. So they put them to flight by Allah's permission. And David slew Goliath, and Allah gave him kingdom and wisdom, and taught him of what he pleased. And were it not for Allah's repelling some men by others, the earth would certainly be in a state of disorder. But Allah is full of grace to the worlds. These are the messages of Allah. We recite them to thee with truths, and surely thou art of the messengers. All right.
Praise be to Allah. Well, congratulations, family. We have completed part 1 and part 2 of our reading. Somebody said the sister's going to read this morning. I don't know. They didn't press it, Sister Diablo. At this time, if you have anything on Zoom, if you're on the Zoom and you would like to share anything that stood out to you, go ahead and press the number 1 at this time, and we'll put together a queue so that we can hear your feedback. If you only join just to listen to the reading and read together, you can get off at this time. I know people have jobs and things you got to get done, but if you would like to hear the feedback, you can stay back at this time. Again, press the number 1 if you have anything that you would like to share that stood out to you today. First thing that stood out to me, section 2, the lip profession, says, and there are some people who say we believe in Allah and the last day, and they are not believers. They seek to deceive Allah and those who believe, and they deceive only themselves, and they perceive not. In their hearts is a disease, so Allah increased their disease, and for them is a painful chastisement because they lie. And when it is said to them, make not mischief in the land, they say we are but peacemakers. Now surely they are the mischief makers, but they perceive not. And that's just a reminder that, we can say what we want, we can say we believe, we can show up, but it's not necessarily about the outside external. It is the inner. I think the minister said during the Swan song, it is your inner life that prepares you for your outer life. So it's not about saying we're black and beautiful. It's not about saying that we're gods. It's not about saying that we're this or we're that. That's lip profession. We're not fooling Allah. We're only deceiving and fooling ourselves. So we must do the inner work from the inside. Think about our mindset, not think about the rituals, because rituals is what other people can see. Oh, he's praying 5 times a day. The minister said the damn devil can pray 5 times a day. The prayer is a ritual that's a reminder of the principle. So let's not get caught up in being able to say the right words. The right words are good. They are great. They are helpful. It does bring about transformation. But let's not also think that we're fooling others, because it only hurts ourselves. And it reminds me of when I played basketball, the coach used to always say, like, if we're lifting weights and then they turn and then you don't lift the weights anymore and you're cheating your sets. You're not cheating me, he would always say. I ain't cheating me. You're only cheating yourself. It's you that's not going to be strong enough to perform in the game. So there's a chastisement, principle-wise, that will come if you cheat yourself. Okay, so that was one of the first things that stood out to me. Anybody else? Press the number 1 if you have anything to share that stood out to you. Somebody said, please let the community know that if they would like to read, that is important. Okay. So if you guys would like to read, whenever we ask, do you want to read, press the number 1 in the beginning, because once it's being shared, we can't see anybody who's asking to read. So make sure, like in the beginning, when we say, hey, anybody want to read, you press whatever that number is so we can get you inside the queue, or else those who said it. Once she shares the screen, we're not able to see who else offered to read. So we do apologize for that. If anybody else wanted to read, we'll get you tomorrow. Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. Surah 2, verses 67 through 71. I won't read it all. I just kind of capitalize what was being said. When Moses had asked the people to sacrifice a cow, they kept sending Moses back to Allah to ask him various questions. What's her color? What's her age? All of these type of things. Then in the end, Allah says they finally did it, though they had not the mind to do it. You know, it makes me think of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said about how we follow him. It would be the same with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We follow in doubt, in suspicion, and we have to keep being told the same thing over and over again, and we keep asking, what about this? What about that? It's really because we don't have the mind to do it, and even when we do it, it's only because we have been exhausted of the questions and things like that. And I've learned that when that my type of mindset is being presented, it's problematic. We really don't hold on. So at some point, when we do something that we really don't have the mind to do it, at some point, we're gonna fall away. So it would be best to adopt faith, as I know that was really mentioned in Surah 2, instead of disbelief. I believe Allah said those who adopt disbelief instead of faith, they incur wrath and chastisement. So that means to me, if I don't do the proper things to keep my duty, strive like we do in the Ramadan, these things help build us up so that even though we're going to have thoughts that go against the grain, the more we do what we are supposed to do, those thoughts get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker to the point where we will have the mind to do it. So I thought that was important because it really gave us a glimpse into the children of Israel. With the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan said, it's us. And we just got to keep being cajoled to do that which we know was right. And we want to keep sending the message of God back to Allah, asking him, can he do it my way? And Allah says, if the messenger was to do the things you wanted him to do, the earth would be in disorder. That's all, fam.
Yes, sir. Thank you. For those of y'all who say, hey, man, how can I join the Zoom next time? I would like to read. You can join us on www.thepowercall.net, www.thepowercall.net. Create your a free profile. I'll let you in. Today, we was at full capacity. I got to see what's going on with my Zoom. It capped out at 100. Inshallah, tomorrow we will be able to allow more than 100 on, okay? So that's how you can get on the Zoom with us every morning. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yeah, so just real quick on Brother Daniel's point, I thought about there's a point coming up in the Quran, and shout out to all the first timers out here like checking this out this year. It's a blessing to have y'all with us. But later on in the Quran, it says, don't say you believe, say you submit, because belief hasn't even entered your heart yet. And as Brother Daniel was talking about that, sometimes for those of us who've been in the nation for a while, we know those times where you come in and it's all new and you just submit to it. And then the blessings come and the understanding comes over time. But we've watched many people that they seem to have a problem with that to a large degree, and it becomes a real bumpy ride because it's always questioning every instruction, and it just makes for a very bumpy ride, so to speak. But what I was struck by first to write down was 156, chapter 2, Surah 2, 156. And before that, it says, 55 says, and we shall certainly try you with something of fear and hunger and loss of property and lives and fruits, and give good news to the patient, who, when a misfortune befalls them, they say, surely we are Allah's, and to him we shall return. Last part of that, next part says, those are they who, on whom are blessings and mercy from their Lord, and those are the followers of the right course. That struck me for some reason this year as we were reading it. who, when a misfortune befalls them, say, surely we are Allah's, and to him we shall return. We all have our own ideas and visions and thoughts and how things are going to play out in this year's New Year's resolution and what I'm going to do now and setting these goals, which is a good thing. And then there may be some misfortunes that befall us along the way, which is out of our control. We like to think that if it's to be, it's up to me, and all that's good thinking. But the reality is, Allah is the best knower, and we plan, and Allah plans, and Allah is the best planner. But when misfortune befalls them, to me, it was just a reminder of a mindset that when misfortune befalls those, surely we are Allah's, and to Him we shall return. So, to me, it's a message that just resonates in my heart to say, hey, Allah knows what this is. Allah, I'm returning back to Allah. Um, we all belong to Him. I belong to Him. And so whatever's happening, He knows about it. And hey, just accept it and roll with it and give it back to Allah. So that was something that stuck out. So
Yes,
y'all
sir.
have a great Ramadan. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Sister Shinema. Did I say it right this year?
Now you're doing a lot better, brother.
Shanima.
You're doing a lot better. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Sister Shanima.
See, there it is.
I was actually going to try to hold off, but I didn't want to miss nothing good. But everyone kind of um, placed the nail on the board already. Like Allah's instruction is so blessed in how it's organized. I just realized in the Quran because to use uh, to use an example, you know, when we were younger, right, and we took instruction. Sometimes you ever thought you was slick, or you got a whooping, and then afterwards it was explained to you why you were supposed to listen. Just look at how merciful, because before he lays out the whole rest of this work of scripture, he explains why it's important that no matter where you go or how much might you have inside of you, you can't go anywhere with your hustle unless you realize that you're in submission. And so in the part of the Quran when he um over in section, I think it was in two section 200 and 46, when he used the example of the children of Israel. And our brothers and sisters have did a great job of explaining, how submission and taking instruction and being upright and basically postured toward Allah first is important. When they were asking for a king, and he said, yeah, well, you ask for a king, and you don't want to fight. You want to fight for God, but what if it arises that when it's time to fight, you don't want to fight? And isn't that a great analogy of where our people are today and why it is so blessed that we're in a time of awakening? And I think it's so important. I'm so grateful that I'm here again to share the posturing, this season of posturing toward Allah, because I want to thank you guys for last year. You have no idea what I walked out of last year after Ramadan. You have no idea. And I'm just glad, but I'm excited for what he's going to do again this year. And it's important for me that this is a chance to get your hustle together, get it amalgamated, because we can't go anywhere. We can't exalt in any way, shape, or form if we're in first in submission to God. And I think it's a perfect instructional for how he explained at first his sovereignty, how the scripture was revealed, and then he breaks it down. And I'm inshallah I'll be here for the rest of it. But isn't it great that before he lays the smack down, he first says, "Now listen, this is what the whole first two sections are for." He doesn't. He says, "I'm going to chastise you, but I'm telling you, I'm the one that does this. Now you guys have choices, and whatever you do, know that I'm God." Now you guys tear it up, because I know some of y'all could do better than me this morning. But yeah, I thought that was amazing. And and eye opening the way I just realized how it's completely structured with mercy in mind first. Don't try to exalt. Don't try to work that hustle if you're not in the right direction. It's going to be useless. It's going to be void. All praise due to Allah. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Here we go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Next up we have Ja Mitzvah. Going once, going twice. All right. Let's go to back to Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. This came back to mind. I was hearing the wonderful testimony of the family. Surah 2, verse 100. Is it that whenever they make a covenant, a party of them cast it aside? Nay, most of them have no faith. I was just thinking about how a covenant is established with us when with Allah's coming and the raising of his two messiahs, and how that covenant is sacred, and we don't want to be of those who cast that aside. And it takes me right to the end of the reading. I found this to be very interesting, where Surah 2, verse 248, and their prophet said to them, surely the sign of his kingdom is that there should come to you the heart in which there is tranquility from your Lord. And the best of what the followers of Moses and the followers of Aaron have left, the angels bearing it. Surely there is a sign in this for you if you are believers. It reminds me of the words of the minister when he said Moses is talking about, of course, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, whom we understand to be Mahdi. And then Aaron, of course, represents him, who soon those who don't understand will come to understand that he's Masih. But when he talks about the followers of them both, those are the ones who would have the heart of tranquil. So it's not good today to say, I follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but not the minister, or vice versa. Both are one. And it's going to take both of them to have a heart that is being purified and being made tranquil or peaceful. And I'm only saying this because when the Father departs shortly, there's going to be a lot of erroneous division. Some people are going to say, I follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but I don't follow the minister. It's going to be a lot of madness. But those of us who truly understand and know that we have been given through the Honorable Minister of Farrakhan, we're following both. Then we'll have the angels on our side and we will be more successful than those who are creating erroneous distinctions and separation. Thank you, fam.
Yes, sir. Another thing that stood out to me looks like part 1 here. This is in section 5. It says, and keep up prayer and pay the poor rate. But it says, seek assistance through patience and prayer. And this is hard except for the humble ones. I don't know about y'all, but anybody here need some type of assistance in life, whether in business, health, relationships, goals, visions? Anybody else need some assistance? And so we hear be patient all the time. Man, you got to be patient, you know? But I wanted to show us, as we share typically on a power call, you know, what patience is. What does it mean? So when you look up the definition of patience, look at that, check it out, because some of us believe we've been patient. Man, I've been patient, I've been waiting. Waiting and patient isn't necessarily the same. Just because you've been waiting don't mean that we've been patient. Patient here says the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering. Here's the key right here: without getting angry or upset. I'm going to read another. This is Cambridge Dictionary. I'm going to read another. It says the ability to accept delay, suffering, or annoyance without complaining or becoming angry. That's patience. So I want us to think about, yeah, I've been waiting, but have I been complaining? Yeah, I've been waiting, but have I found myself really being angry? So seek assistance through patience, being able to tolerate the delay. Man, I want this to happen. Oh, man, it's not happening fast enough. There's so many things in life, man, it's just not happening fast enough for you. This person not coming fast enough. This money ain't coming fast enough. Man, these results for my health ain't coming fast enough. Seek assistance through patience and prayer. And then it says, this is hard only, but for the humble ones. Well, let's look up the definition of humble or humble. It says here, not proud or haughty, not arrogant or assertive. Then it says another one, not proud or not believing that you are, important. And I know many people online say, oh, that's a bad thing, right? You should see yourself as important. This means in an arrogant way, more important than you are, thinking that you're better than others just because of, who you are, that type of spirit, okay? Forgetting that Allah is the only reality, forgetting that Allah is the one who made you who you are. Then you're becoming like, oh yeah, this is me, I did this. So it says those who are going to be able, who pretty much struggles with that, being able to seek assistance through patience and prayer. Maybe you're too proud, humble. So we look at, so this is something to think about. Many of us, we look at people online who, oh man, you could tell brother there, he ain't humble. He ain't listening to this. He ain't obeying. Well, what about when God got you in something? It's not happening fast enough. The prayer isn't being answered when we want it to be answered. It says in the Quran here, it says, and this is hard except for the humble ones. So if we find it being hard, it's easy for us to judge somebody else. Oh, that we love them. They look at nigga that ain't even humble, arrogant fool, right? But hold on now, this here saying when you seek assistance through patience and prayer, and this is hard except for the humble ones, maybe there's a little bit in us we need to check. A little bit in us we need to look at. Okay? Let me see what else I had. Surely those who believe, here's another one. Surely those who believe in those who are Jews and the Christians and the Sabians, whoever believes in Allah in the last day and does good, they have their reward with their Lord. And there is no fear for them, nor shall they grieve, because Islam is submission. Entire submission to do the will of God. That was the lecture, and a brother asked the minister. He said, the Quran says that Allah would accept nothing besides Islam. Why, when you go into the churches, you don't tell them that? And the minister was breaking it down, and he was like, you feed on a righteousness. You feed on a righteousness, and by nature, this is what we are. Remember, he said, we're Muslim by nature. Yeah, I know you may not follow the rituals, but by nature, you are made to submit your will to do the will of God. The laws of God, he teaches us, is written in our nature before a Bible or before a Quran. So if they call themselves a Christian, Jew, or this or that, but they're submitting to the will of God, technically, that's Muslim. He said, I ain't going to argue with you about who you are. I already know who you are. So that just shows that, in Islam, we aren't necessarily this divisive group who is on the all way or the highway. This is clearly saying, hey, man, those who are Jews and Sabians and Christians, whoever believes in Allah on the last day, and does good, they have their reward with their Lord, and there is no fear for them, nor shall they grieve. It says, then neither those who disbelieve from among the people of the book, nor the polytheists, like that any good should be sent down to you from your Lord. And Allah chooses whom he pleases for his mercy. And Allah is the Lord of the mighty in grace. I'm going to read that again. And Allah chooses whom he pleases for his mercy, and Allah is the Lord of mighty grace. We shall find peace in that. Allah chooses whom he pleases for his mercy, and Allah is the Lord of mighty and grace. Some people, you may have a cousin, a family member, a brother, a sister who don't have grace for you, but Allah chooses whom he pleases. So long as your heart is right, your mind is right, your intentions is right, rest on that Allah chooses whom he pleases, not somebody. It's not about who they choose. Who's your God? God, Allah, the originator, or is it this brother or this sister? That's another thing. And then let me see one more. Man, I got so many. It says here, and keep up prayer and pay the poor rate, and whatever good you send before yourselves, you will find it with Allah. Surely Allah is the seer of what you do. And they say, none shall enter the garden except he who is a Jew or Christians. These are their vain desires. Say, bring your proof if you are truthful. Nay, whoever submits himself entirely, so this is the part. Whoever submits himself entirely to Allah, God, and he is a doer of good to others. So you submit yourself to God, do good to others. He has his reward from his Lord, and there is no fear for such, nor shall he grieve. So I like how it lists off. So it's practical. Hey, those who submit, those who do good, those are the ones who have their reward from their Lord. So it's principle. So look at the principle of it. It's not talking about, hey, those who are Jews, those who are Christian. No, you submit yourself entirely to Allah, which is simply what Muslims mean, and you do good to others. That's how you get the reward. Anybody else have anything that stood out to them that they want to share before I continue? I know with job mitzvah, you had something, but it doesn't seem like you was able to come off the mic. Are you able to come off the mic now? Going once. Job mitzvah. All right. Next thing I want to share. This is section 19. 155. And we shall certainly try you with something of fear and hunger and loss of property and lives and fruits, and give good news to the patient. Then it says, who when a misfortune befalls them say, surely we are Allah's, and to him we shall return. Those are they whom are blessings and mercy from their Lord, and those are the followers of the right course. Those are the followers of the right course. Those are the followers of the right course. It could look like if I show up, if I attend this, if I put this on, if I show this externally, I'm a follower. This is saying, and we shall certainly try you with something of fear. So we're going to be made afraid of something. Hunger. Man, I ain't got nothing to eat. I ain't got, man, shoot. Look, poverty. So money getting low. How are you when the money get low? How are you when you're hungry? How are we when we're in a state of fear? See, because it's easy to say, oh, praise is due to Allah. Yes, sir. Blessed. When lights is always on time, money flowing in, food in the pantry, living a good life. It's easy to be to worship then. It's easy to be a believer then because life is good. This is saying loss of property, loss of life. When you lose those around you, do you begin to question? Do you change? In fruits, and give good news to the patient. So look, it says, to who When a misfortune befalls them, they say, surely we are Allah's, and to him we shall return. To Allah we come, to Allah we must return. What is our thought process? What is our attitude is describing here when I'm going through a trial? Am I, woe is me? Am I thinking about giving up on my faith? Am I thinking about throwing in the towel? Or am I saying we are Allah's? Surely we shall return to him. Allah is my patron. It says those, so it's describing a particular person. Those are they on whom are blessings and mercy from their Lord. And those are the followers of the right course. So don't shy away from poverty. Don't shy away from fear. Don't shy away from loss of life, loss of people. This is the time for me to show, because God already knows your heart. Now I gotta know, the Allah in me gotta know who I am. You never know who you've been tried until you've been tried. So these trying times is the time for you to show yourself that you are a true believer, to show yourself that you are a true follower. Because we can read the Quran all day. We can read Message to the Black Man. We can read all these things until we put in a time to where now we got to apply it now. Seek assistance through patience and prayer. When life is good, you may not have anything to seek assistance and prayer from. It ain't until your life look like, I don't see no light at the end of the tunnel, and I got to seek refuge in Allah. Saying seek refuge in Allah is good when you got abundance. Sounds good. But what about when you can't even call on a brother and sister to help you with the problem you got? What about when you don't have enough money to pay off the problem? What if God is putting us in a certain position where your money is low? You can't buy your way out of this one, brother. You can't buy your way out of this one, sister. It's easy. You could just, I can just pay somebody else. I'm finna make you, I'm finna squeeze all your resources, all your easy way out, and I need you to really seek refuge in me. That's when we find out who we really are. Okay? All right, let's go. Brother Remus, he got something else?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You always fire me up, Brother Ben. You be kicking all that good stuff, man. Feeding off the minister's mind to be coming through you. Yeah, that idea of we all trying to get to the hereafter. That's the goal. This is my understanding. Is so the purification of the heart. So the minister is constantly digging us into ourselves to find out what's the real thought going on. What's really, how you gonna handle this? How you gonna deal with dissatisfaction? You know, promise your child something and then don't deliver and see what come up out of them. Oh man, but it's all a test of the heart. And I think about how the minister was tested. Most of Elijah Muhammad knew that he got to a point where he said, "Oh, I've done tested him. He'll get you to the other side. He gonna get you there. He ain't gonna say, look what I did. He gonna be submitting so much to do Allah's will that he gonna understand, look what Allah has done. This ain't about me. This is me submitting to do Allah's will. So when it goes right, oh man, see all that striving, look what Allah did. And that's a beautiful thing because we all have to stay alive and we got to take care of ourselves. And, but in this process of maturation, getting to a place where we coming from such a beautiful place. And it's Allah in the Quran is reminding us all month here that I'm going to test you. I'm going to find out. Oh, you can't say you believe in me and not be tested. We're going to find out what's really going on inside of you. And you're going to come face to face with it. It's going to be a purification process. And you're going to have to be true to yourself. And so such a beautiful thing to have this reminder. I like this part 225. It said, Ayah 225, Allah will not call you to account for what is vain in your oaths, but he will call you to account for what your hearts have earned. And I thought about that when it was being read again and again. I hear it over every year. What your heart has earned. Yeah, you got your vain desires. Oh, I want this. I see that. But that ain't really, 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 really like the real you, the heart of you. But that thing that you really, really, really was striving for, oh, you're going to be accountable to that. Oh, it was a very personal, deep message. I hope somebody else caught it too, because it was, man, the vain desires. We all have vain desires. Oh, man, look at that. It's bling, blinging, it's shining. Okay. That's part of being a human being. But those desires in your heart that you plotting and planning and thinking, oh, good or bad, You're going to be held accountable for those, is what I heard Allah say in 225. But anyway, Brother Ben, just pass it back to you, man. But I think it's all good about just how we are getting purified and looking at our hearts and really finding out that check in the mirror, that check up from the neck up and seeing what's really going on in our thinking. So passing it back to you, bro.
Praise be to Allah. Another thing I want to point out, and this is really for those of y'all who are quote unquote not Muslim, and you're here for your very first time. I'm sure you have heard. How many of y'all have heard, man, Muslims, man, they force Islam on our people. And if you wasn't Muslim, it says to go kill the disbelievers. Go kill them where you find them. How many of y'all heard that? Be honest. We ain't gonna be offended. How many of y'all heard that? Man, Islam, man, they said, man, they was killing people if they wasn't Muslim, and they forced it. First, let me clear that up, right? Because we read a piece, we read a part of what people use to bring about that narrative. First of all, let me start here. There's no compulsion in Islam. This is said in Surah 222, Surah 2, 256. There's no compulsion in Islam or religion. Somebody said, my Uber driver just said that 2 days ago. All right, so what does that mean when it says there's no compulsion in Islam? If you look it up for yourself, it literally says, meaning that Islam explicitly prohibits forcing anyone to convert to the faith. People should be free to choose their religion without coercion. Look it up on your own. This ain't coming from Brother Ben. It literally means that it's prohibited to force it on anybody. So anybody who forced it on anybody wasn't Muslim. Anybody who was forcing it or doing anything evil because they wasn't, that was not Islam. So that's step number one. So let's go back to what people misinterpret, because I caught somebody on YouTube doing this and I had to correct them years ago. So this is what they'll do. They'll start with this one, Surah 190, Surah 2, 191, where it says, and look at it. It says, and it tells them to kill them wherever you find them and drive them out from where they drove you out. And persecution is worse than slaughter. See, it teaches them to go find and this is in self-defense. Context is key. So let's go to the verse before that. It says, and fight in the way of Allah against those who fight against you. Be not the aggressor. Look at what it says next. Surely Allah loves not the aggressors. So I just wanted to clear it up because I know it's in movies, it's in TV shows, propaganda. They make you think that Muslims are aggressive people. If you're not a Muslim, they're not forgiven. They gonna kill you. You're not this. It's not true, y'all. This is simply, it literally says in self-defense. The way of Allah is to fight with those who fight with you and to not even exceed the limits. We're going to read that as we go on. So it says, and fight in the way of Allah against those who fight against you, but be not aggressive. Surely Allah loves not the aggressors. And kill them wherever you find them and drive them out from where they drove you out. So you may hear somebody maybe say, well, you're Muslim, don't turn the other cheek. Well, that's true. If you hit us in the cheek, you probably gonna get hit in your cheek. Okay, so we are taught to defend ourselves, not to just, and that's not even what it means in the Bible, by the way. Turn the other cheek is just simply means like for like. When you're striving to save a soul, when you're striving, that's a mental and a spiritual principle, not to let somebody kick you in your butt and you say, all right, brother, the Bible said, kick me in my another one. You better not let nobody, you may be dead. Somebody hit you in your cheek and you fall out, hit a curve or something, and you can die. Please don't believe that's talking about physically. But when you're striving to save somebody and they say, man, get that out my goddamn, get out there out of my face. They cussing you out. You don't meet them with the same spirit. You don't meet them with the attitude. You turn the other cheek spiritually and mentally because ultimately I want to raise this person. So I'm not going to stoop down to where they are. It don't mean if somebody punch you that you say, all right, brother, give me a hook on the left side. No, that they don't mean Muslims is violent like that. It just means that we just not gonna turn the other cheek and just let you abuse us physically, okay? So I just want to clear that up because we did read that today, and that has been mischaracterized for many years. Then it says, Surah 2:16, speaking of fighting is enjoined on you, though it is disliked by you. And it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you. And it may be that you love a thing while it is evil for you. And Allah knows while you know not. So it says fighting, just like fasting, is prescribed. It says persecution is worse than slaughter. So allowing people to just persecute you is worse than slaughter. So fighting is prescribed in self-defense. Don't let nobody, come and abuse you. So just want to highlight that. Anybody else have anything that they would like to share? Oh, Brother King Cam. Go ahead, Brother Cam.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
So I just wanted to just give my thoughts and perspective on the reading. On the reading this morning, what stood out to me was, in Surah 2, where it talked about, fighting, as you just mentioned, and how persecution is worse than slaughter. And it's just a beautiful way to help lift our spirits up and give us that confidence that we need, especially when we have such an open enemy that seems to be, like a Goliath um, against us. That seems to be so, demonstrative and so, adversarial that we can't overcome it. But the Holy Quran is teaching us that we should fight against those who persecute us. But there's another thing that I wanted to mention and highlight as well, because you hear people online say that the God of the Quran is not the same God of the Bible, and they use John 3:16 as the reference point because in John 3:16 it says that God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, and that God in the Bible wants salvation for all people, and in the Quran that God hates. And what we have to understand, and what the Quran is so beautiful at doing, is it helps correct our vision. It helps correct our thoughts. It helps correct our perspective on things that we know deep down inside are right, but we have been taken off of the path because we want acceptance. So in the Holy Quran, it as a sister mentioned earlier, it's off. The theme is mercy. Allah is giving and leading with mercy as He corrects us and lets us know that the further away that we stray from righteousness, then there's a consequence for that. So when Allah says that He hates the disbelievers, when He says that He hates the arrogant, He hates those who are not humble. These are things that are a stench in the nostrils of Almighty God, because He has given us an example in which for us to purge ourselves of those different characteristics. Those of us who are on the call right now, if you're a parent and you have children, you love your children, but you don't let your children do anything that they want to do, because there are things that you know that will harm them. There are things that you know, if you don't show them and guide with correction and with firmness, that they can do damage to themselves. So you have to put in place boundaries. You have to put in place restrictions. Sometimes you have to chastise your children for disobeying you, because you know the best interest that you have for your child. It's not that you don't love them. So how is it that when it comes to God, when He gives us parameters, when He gives us restrictions, when He gives us guidance, when He gives us the correctness, and oftentimes chastises us very lightly for our behavior, we think that now this God hates us, when we as parents don't even replicate that same mindset with our children. But we call ourselves children of God. But we call ourselves, those who submit, the submitting ones and the believers. So if you hear that, that's not the case. The Quran just gives the perspective, gives us the limits to not exceed, so that He gives us the straight path and the example in which to follow for us to find our way into the hereafter. But we're not able to just, you know, um, as they say, let the prisoners run the asylum or let us run crazy. Allah is not going to just allow us to just go crazy, and for us to believe and think that there's not any type of consequences for our actions. No, this is why God sends down scriptures. This is why He gives revelation through His prophets and messengers, because they are a mercy to the people. And that's an opportunity for you to correct your errant behavior before the chastisement comes. So I just wanted to lift those words and add that perspective as well, because you hear a lot of people online saying that and using that as a way to cause division, when clearly in the Quran it says those who are Jews, those who are Christians, those who are Sabians, those who believe, will find their reward with their God. And those who want you to follow their way is only the vain desires. Jews want you to follow only their way. Christians want you to follow only their way. That's only their vain desires. But that's not what Allah wants. So just wanted to add that. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. One more point, brother. There's some very wonderful things being raised this morning. In hearing the commentary, I thought about the strain and the divisiveness that we are suffering in relationships. So I thought it was very powerful that early on in His reading, Allah began to admonish us about relations, our wives, things like that. So I thought that 221 was powerful, where we read, "And marry not the idolatresses until they believe, and certainly a believing maid is better than an idolatress, even though she please you. Nor give believing women in marriage to idolaters until they believe. And certainly a believing slave is better than an idolater, even though he please you. These invite to the fire, and Allah invites to the garden, and to forgiveness by His will, and He makes clear His messages to men that they may be mindful." I thought that this was important because it reminded me of what Sister Ava said about when you choose a mate, similar belief systems is important. So as our brother just said when he was talking about the Sabians, the Christians, the Muslims, the Jews, all who believe and do good, they have a place with their Lord. So this says to me, if I'm a striving brother, which would and trying to believe, then it would be better if I choose a striving woman who's striving to believe. That don't mean we don't have shortcomings. That don't mean means that we don't have things that we got to get rid of to purify our wish up. But at least we're moving on the same path. So an idolater is a male who worships more than one God. An idolatress is a female who does the same. It would be best for a harmonious relationship that we marry not those who don't want to serve God and try to be like Abraham, one who purified his faith and became solely devoted to the one God. So I thought that was an important point with the battle of the sexes today and all this stuff on media, where male and female is going rampant on one another. A lot of that is because there's not a proper belief system. We don't have a proper relationship with the God. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. As we close out, I would like to read something here just to remind us about Ramadan. So number one, Ramadan observance for any believer in God. Fasting, so that's no food, no water while the sun is up, guys. So after sunset is when you can eat again. So there's no food, there's no water, there's no sex during the daylight hours. If you are pregnant, if you are sick, you should eat. Okay, you can make it up another way. Reading the Quran word daily, keep up prayer, giving charity, so that's feeding the poor, do acts of kindness spontaneously, no arguing or fighting with one another during Ramadan. Okay, so no arguing, no fighting, just say peace. I know it's gonna be hard. This is around the time where people gonna be in the comment section, they're gonna be trying to troll, all that. No arguing. Okay, fight it. No profanity. Okay, protect your environment from negative influences. Guard what enters your ears. So this is negative music, TV, social media. Feed on God daily. So study, read the word. And again, I would encourage you all, as we read this, we're going to read it, right? Because we're going to go through the parts, but you may need to go back for understanding. So don't think that we understood everything we read just because we reading sections together. There's something you need to go back on, read the footnotes, do your own research. What did this word mean? What was they talking about here? So like really take some time to go look at it versus just reading it as a ritual, okay? Seek nearness to God, break old habits and start new habits. Man, we have had some beautiful testimonies on this power call with Ramadan. People have stopped smoking weed. People have stopped smoking, period. People have been able to, put down the alcohol. A lot of bad habits that they've had, they've been able to break during Ramadan together as a group. So just think about what habits you have. Be intentional about what new habits you would like to create during this time of Ramadan. If you mess up, don't judge yourself. Just try again. Don't judge yourself. Don't feel bashful if you don't know this, if you don't know a prayer, you don't know what time. We all still learning. We all still growing. Somebody who's good, better than you, so-called in one area, you may be a little bit more further than them in another area. So don't judge yourself. This is a lifelong journey to Allah, okay? Spend time with loved ones. Express gratitude to God and to those around you. Goal, God's mercy, God's blessings, closeness to God, moral renewal, spiritual restart, and create an atmosphere of peace. That's what we like to take place during this Ramadan. And if we can do these things for 30 days, we can do it for 365 days. The result will be heaven, peace on earth. So, of course, we all slip up. We get to, going, whatever after Ramadan. But as we are developing these new habits during Ramadan, let's see. Don't just do it during Ramadan. See how much we can go without arguing, how much we can go without cussing. A couple cuss words may slip back in, but try to keep a discipline. This is a time for us to get it back in shape. You know what I mean? It's like those times where it's like, okay, come on back in spiritually. So now we're exercising, now we're reading, now we're praying, now we're fasting. So we got to think about the words. So I encourage you all, as well, as we're fasting, your stomach may growl, take control. Because if I can control the point of it, if I can control my hunger, I want to drink water. These are necessities for the body. Water is a necessity. Food is a necessity. So if I can, get disciplined and say, nah, I ain't gonna eat it today. What about when you think about smoking? What about when you think about drinking alcohol? These are things that's not needed for our life to survive. So if I can build the discipline and the will to abstain from that which I need, surely I can build the will to abstain from that which I don't need. So that's the point, and this is what's going to drive us to be more disciplined in our lives as well when we do this particular fast. All right. So thank y'all for listening. I know we've been on here going on 2 hours now, and I'll see you guys, inshallah, in the morning, 6 a.m. Central Time. Again, those of y'all who are tuned in on social media, if you would like to join the actual Zoom call with us and potentially be a reader or potentially share what stood out to you at the end, www.thepowercall.net. Even if you don't want to join the Zoom, I have a Ramadan guide that I put together. If you got questions about Ramadan, there's a community now of over 1,000 people, so y'all can dialogue. You can talk about what stood out to you maybe in the community. We can talk in the community. Maybe some sisters may want to say, well, what do we eat? After I break my fast, what's the best thing should I eat? We shouldn't be breaking it to candy or sugar. You know what I mean? So you got some sisters in there, or even some brothers that know, okay, this is the best way, get you some dates. You know what I'm saying? So all those different things we can talk about and discuss in the community together, so that you don't feel like I'm doing this by myself. That's the point of it. All right. I feel like I'm talking too much now, and I got somewhere to go. So thank y'all for listening. I'll see you guys, inshallah, tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.